There's a new video game out today, and it is a franchise-setting kind of situation. Heading into the holiday season, 2D platformers are back in a big way. We're talking about Sonic Superstars today, but it'll be Mario Wonder later this week. Now, the old Sega versus Nintendo battle is back again. Only this time, I think lots of those kiddos are going to be playing both games come Christmas time. However, the journalists out there, they don't like Sonic for some reason. I've got a feeling I know why. And when it comes to Disney potentially buying Electronic Arts, I'm here to tell you, watch out for SEGA instead. Hello folks, welcome back to another video of excellence here on the WDW Pro channel. We endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. We've got a track record that says that's what we do, and we intend to do it well. Thank you for being here. If you like content like it, consider clicking the like button. Joining us today to talk about the situation with Sonic the Hedgehog, with the video game industry at large, and yes, the possibility that Disney will want to get in on video gaming. Fat Steven is back yet again. Fat Steven, welcome.
Sorry. Thank you for having me.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, you just get a little screaming fit there. I was checking on you.
I'm sorry. I was having a Timmy moment. I'm sorry.
I thought it might be because you saw Ugly Sonic again, the original CGI design for the first Sonic movie that was discarded at the fans' demands. Now, I want to show you this, Stephen. This is an older article, but we're going to set up the situation today by looking at this article out of soysincao.com. My best guess on how we pronounce this one. And it's by Dezamari Dezafri. This is, here's how Ugly Sonic ended up a Disney property. Now, what it goes on to talk about, folks, the link is in the description, is that Sonic the Hedgehog, at least the ugly version, appeared in Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers, the movie that appeared on Disney Plus recently. There's a relationship that's already happened, and I'm here to tell you, too, there's a Disney game that's out now, Disney Illusions, I think is the name of it, that features an enemy that looks a lot like a very cute Sonic the Hedgehog silhouette. There is already a relationship here, and Stephen, we've been watching as the video game industry has, what should we say here? The powers of the video game industry are shrinking as these big companies like Microsoft gobble up everything. You've got to think that Sony's going to be doing the same. Nintendo does their own thing, but Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard, which includes Candy Crush, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, and so much more. I think, Stephen, that the video game industry right now is being squeezed to such a point that Disney and these other companies are looking to get in while they can. Disney has said that they're interested in Electronic Arts. That was the leak that came out, right? It was supposed to make us all think that Disney could do such a purchase again. Not sure they can.
No.
But, Stephen, Electronic Arts has a market evaluation of something like $30 billion plus. However, SEGA has an evaluation of $3 billion. Disney, should they want to get into the video game industry, SEGA is a much easier purchase for them, and it also solves a huge problem the company has. Now, Paramount has the rights to the Sonic movies, but Disney needs something to counter Mario. What is the most obvious way to counter Mario as Mario gets ready to eat Disney's lunch? Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, what do you think about the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and what do you think about companies like Disney trying to get in and get the studios before they're bought up by others?
Well, it would make sense that you would try to go after the competitor that was Mario's first competitor back on the original console wars. So Sonic would be a good grab. The problem is, would they make Sonic a Disney property the way they've been making other properties Disney with air quotes, or will they actually let Sega have control over it? As for the Activision with Microsoft, I'm kind of excited about it. We might see massive changes with Game Pass itself and give the ability for us to have games that were currently unavailable to those libraries and maybe increase their player bases. The biggest thing I'm thinking is if they ever thought of bringing World of Warcraft to a Game Pass and still at a subscription base, they would kill it. They would make a massive growth again.
If they can get in there and clean up Blizzard, because Blizzard's so
Well, Bobby Kotick is gone, right? He's gone. He's going to be in there for interim, and then he's gone by the end of the year, right? He's already gone.
yes, and he is I think one of the most corrupt CEOs in America.
Yeah.
But the studios which he has run, like Blizzard, for example, they were emptied out of their geniuses. And by the way, I have often used Blizzard as an example of what has happened to Disney, except Blizzard's in front, right? Blizzard has done this at a faster clip. So Blizzard was filled with all of these geniuses who made these amazing classic games like StarCraft, Warcraft, etc.
Hmm.
And then through corruption, they ran off everybody. We could go through a list. It's impressive.
Well,
Disney has done the same thing, with John Lasseter and others, where they've run off, Ike Perlmutter. They've run off these people who really helped them be successful, and then they malign them in terrible ways. Whether it's with what they did with John Lasseter or with Perlmutter, they're still maligning him. So I don't know. Microsoft's going to have to rebuild it up, but they definitely got fantastic IPs. And I wonder, do you think that Disney might be looking at the chance to pick up Sonic so that they could have a Sonic land in one of their areas? I mean, they need something. They need a Green Hill or something. And also, Stephen, simultaneous, Disney killed LucasArts. Disney eliminated their ability to make games. Disney used to be known for games like Aladdin, for Lion King. They used to have fantastic video games. Castle of Illusion. They don't have that anymore.
No,
They
no.
need some. They need a foot in the door.
The problem is, if they're going to acquire the Sonic franchise or even Sega in general, there's a whole bunch of properties they can do. But I don't think they have the capabilities with their infrastructure of staff to even make it stick to the original. I think it would just be warped. And we've seen what happened with almost said Star Trek, Star Wars, even their own properties with their princesses. I don't know how they would even use Sonic in a light that would not only attract boys but girls at the same time. The only thing I can see is they re-release the Dreamcast and just put Mickey Mouse ears on and go, these are all ours now. I don't see it. I can't see it. They should not be spending money on stuff because they're not in the market for making products that make money. They're making products that push narrative and ideologies. And all of us have talked about this for weeks and months. And I don't want to pick up a console game and have Sonic tell me about this, and that, when all we're supposed to be doing is finding the Chaos Emeralds and running through the Green Mile Zone.
Well, to that end, let's talk about this new game that came out. And
Okay.
by the way, I think this week is phenomenal for video gamers out there, especially for those of you who enjoyed video games way back in the day, because we've got the return of 2D platformers as really the centerpiece of the video game industry.
Mhm.
This feels like we're back in 1994 somehow, but Sonic Superstars came out today, and I'll give you my thoughts in a moment. I've played through it, and Mario Wonder comes out Friday, and it looks by all intents and purposes that it's going to be fantastic. Nintendo tends to only put out fantastic when it comes to Mario. There are a few exceptions. Sonic does not have that same legacy. Sonic has definitely seen unbalanced quality, right? There's been varying levels of quality. You've got fantastic games like Sonic Mania, Sonic Generations, and then you've got some real stinkers out there too. But this game and Mario Wonder, I think, are going to sell like absolute hotcakes. I think it has bigger ramifications, Stephen, because big box retailers, this is going to convince them even more to put Sonic and Mario on their shelves instead of Star Wars and Marvel. Now, and we've already seen that, but I think this is going to grow. I've played through this game now in order to get ready to review it for this video, and I have to say that I think it's great. In terms of where I would put it with the original Sonic games, I think it's not as good to me as Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which is, I think, the best. And it may not be as good as Sonic Mania, but it's actually really close, and that's impressive because they don't have Christian Whitehead helping them here. Yet they've pulled off something very good. It's not the best Sonic I've ever played, but it's close, and it runs on all systems at a blazing frame rate. I know that there are some additional features out there that some of the journalists are dinging Sonic for, and they're being pretty cruel. I think that comes down to some sort of weird anti-Sonic thing inside of video game journalism. But this game in the core gameplay, right, just single player core gameplay, this is up there and probably surpasses almost all of the original era Sonic games, and that's thank goodness Sega needs to be able to make original Sonic games. What an embarrassment that for decades they didn't have the ability to make a Sonic game that felt like Sonic, but for whatever reason they couldn't. They're back now, and I have to say, I think this will do very well. I give it an 8.5. I highly recommend folks out there try it, enjoy it. I think you'll really like it, especially if you've ever liked the Sonic games like Sonic Mania. Is this one that might be on your radar, Stephen?
Maybe. First of all, what was the price tag attached to this? Was it like a full $80 game, or was it more of a lowered because it's just something different?
This one is $60, and one of the things I was looking at, Stephen, was does it actually have the kind of content that would merit that? Because in my opinion, if it even had the content of Sonic Mania, then it's not worth $60. Sonic Mania was great, but it didn't have the full fleshed out content of a full on game. This does. This has 12 zones, which is up there with the most you've ever seen in a Sonic game before. 12 zones. There are all kinds of different gimmicks involved in the zones. They're not cookie cutters. It has 4 playable characters. It's got a multiplayer that I don't think is going to be all that important, but it has it. And I think for little kids, there's this thing where you build your own little robot avatar creature and you get to play with it. I think kids will love it. It's not for adults, but I think kids will love it. And I think everybody of all ages will love the single player.
Look, it actually looks pretty good. It would probably be on something I put on a list because right now I'm getting beaten by Lords of the Fallen over and over again. But this would probably be a good party game or something just to put on for like kid safe. It looks
Oh,
pretty much kid
sure.
safe. Yeah.
It is. It's absolutely, and it's cute. And here's where I'd like to end up with, Stephen, is think about this for a moment.
Yeah.
You've got this very cute game. We've been watching it for a while, folks. Very cute. The characters are animated so lovingly, and they're just they're adorable. Look at them. How much would Disney love to be putting out Mickey Mouse content like this, and they just can't because they got out of the video game business and they don't have the ability to do this.
Yeah.
It really is a detriment to Disney because video games now eclipse in large part movies and streaming and all of that. Video games are huge. They only trail live sports, I think, and yet Disney is completely outside that box by their own poor decisions in the past. So, how much do you think Disney wants to have some kind of company that can give them Mickey Mouse in this way?
I think they can, and I want to add something to throw something out there. The same with the Sega properties. I think they still own Afterburner. It also, let's say if they acquired Sega, sorry,
Sega.
Sega, like they would have their Game of Thrones with Golden Axe if they wanted to do something like that, or their Conan. But if they acquired Afterburner, they could create their own Top Gun franchise for kids or for families at the same time. So there's enough properties out there where they could do something.
There you
Sega,
go.
yeah, Sega, if they can turn it around and make it a Disney safe to family safe entertainment, then I can see it going somewhere. But again, their track record doesn't speak for that. So we'll have to wait and
So
see.
so here's what I'm telling Bob Iger right now. Bobby, Big Bobby, I'm as terrified of you owning Sega as I am you owning a hippo. But that said, from a business standpoint, the idea that you're going to go get Electronic Arts for $30 billion is utter insanity versus get Sega and get Sonic for $3 billion. So what are you thinking? From a creative standpoint, from protecting Sonic the Hedgehog, I don't want Disney to have their gloves on it. But from the standpoint of a business decision, if they want into video games, this would be the way to do it. Folks, I highly recommend Sonic Superstars. I think it's a great game. I think it is far better than most of the Sonic games that have happened since the Dreamcast era. I recommend it at an 8.5. And if you have the funds and the money, I highly recommend both this and Mario Wonder. I haven't even played Mario Wonder yet. How can I possibly suggest that you get it? Well, because I know it's coming from Nintendo, and that means quality. But this one's good too. So grab them both for the holidays for the kiddos, and I think you'll have a great time. Steven,
Yes, sir.
what are you playing, and where can we find you?
You can pretty much find me on Rumble at the moment. I do streams on YouTube and other platforms on Sundays with Script Doctor, Wolverine, and Tickle Trunk. There's now joined us called Survive Sundays. Other than that, Monday to Friday, usually 7 a.m. Sorry, 7 p.m. or 10 a.m. I'm doing game content. Right now it's Lords of the Fallen. Tonight I think it's Trodosis. Pretty much just keeping my hands on the strong and narrow to carpal tunnel.
Well, and folks, don't forget too that Steven is also the man who is behind basically all of the graphic assets, all of the art for this channel, for the Valiant Renegade channel, for Renegade Online, and so much more. He is a valued member of That Park Place. And we're just so happy to see Steven getting more and more attention as folks discover him and his gaming streams. We highly recommend that you check out Steven by clicking on his name in the video description down below.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks, if you liked this conversation, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and click it. Stick it to the algorithms. Yeah, it's the notification bell. And you know what else? We could use some comments here. It's time for an old school Genesis versus Super Nintendo battle down in the comments. Let us know. Are you picking up this game? Are you picking up Mario Wonder? Are you over the 2D platformers, and have you been over it for so long you can't even remember? Or are you ready to dip your toes back in and jump back on those floating platforms and hit those springs and grab those rings? Let us know. All right, folks, we have a phenomenal conversation coming out tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Robert Meyer Burnett stopped by of the Burnett Work, stopped by for one of the deepest conversations we have ever had here, talking about the future of entertainment. You are not going to want to miss it. We would be so sad if you did. So check it out at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing. And you know we got to say it after a Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario video. Keep having fun!
No, hey Florl, what you doing? Thinking about Rome?
No, I wasn't. But thanks. Now I lost the game.
Dang it. Now I lost the game. Ah,
No.
Well, now you're a double loser.
Hey guys,
Game.
you know what would help you in your grief? Forgetting those things and filling your mind with articles from thatpartplace.com and using that website as a launching pad to get you lost in thought with all of the team from there.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, well, Flora, would you look down here?
I hate you. Now,